Hey, what's up everyone, and this is Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. I was just in the local arcade a couple of weeks ago. The Fighting Climax machine was vacant, so I thought I'd give it a quick review for all of you that are interested, as so far this game is exclusive to Japanese arcades, or as they're called here, game centers. Now this is by no means going to be an in-depth review, it's just going to be a mini review based around my initial impressions. First off, Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax is a 2D fighter published by SEGA, which features popular characters from light novels released by Dengeki Bunko, but most of us will recognize them from the anime adaptions, and pits them against each other in a 2.5D environment. It features popular anime and manga characters like Kirito and Asuna from the colossally popular Sword Art Online, Kirino from Ori no Imoto, Kuroyuki Hime from Accel World, and Shizuo from Durarara. It's a 4-button fighter with 3 attack buttons and 1 for activating your support character. As for moves, it sticks to that classic Street Fighter style with stick sweeps for special attacks and supers. This game is currently limited to only 8 playable characters, which are Kirito from SAO, Shizuo from Durarara, Kirino from Oreimo, Shana from Shakugan no Shana, SAO's Asuna, Mikoto from A Certain Magical Index, Kuroyuki Hime from Accel World, Tomoka from Rokubu, and Akira from Virtua Fighter also makes an appearance as the final boss. There are 2 new characters on the horizon, Miyuki from the Irregular Magic High School and Taiga from Toradora, and they'll be added this summer. As well as that, there's also 16 different support characters. Between each fight there's skippable scenes in which the characters are tweened about and talk to each other, and yeah, that's a Dreamcast controller on our head. And after those, you're straight into the action. So on to the most important part of a fighter, the gameplay. As I mentioned before, this is a 4-button fighter, but this game is a real button basher, and I mean button singular. I found it hard not to just spam the same combo over and over again, as the A button is the only button that does anything of worth, and it's the only combo available. The other 2 attack buttons, B and C, only do one single disjointed attack. This can be used to interrupt, but that's about it. There's also a button which can activate your support character, and all that takes is a single press while holding a direction. The support characters all attack in their own unique way, and you can choose whichever one suits your particular style, but it's not enough to add to the limited gameplay. There's also some other stuff you can do by pressing a simple combination of 2 or 3 buttons, like grabs and blast attacks, but nothing with any real depth. And finally there's the climax attacks, which is basically a super, and that just involves a back, down, forward sweep of the stick and hitting B and C. And then you just sit back and wait a couple of seconds. And that about covers it for every character, seriously. And that's this game's biggest downfall. The button inputs are the same for each character, so all the characters play pretty much the same. This is some seriously shallow gameplay. There are some aspects that make the characters differ slightly, like the way Kirino's costume changes as she fights, and how Kirito can activate his Nitoryu, or dual wielding. However, this game does look quite good. Sure, there are some better looking 2D fighters in the arcades like Persona 4, but it's still a really nice looking fighter. As for the stages, they look pretty nice, and some other SEGA franchises make an appearance like Sonic, Valkyria Chronicles, and a favorite in Japanese game centers, Border Break. So that's it. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax is a mediocre fighter at best, with only 8 playable characters with little to no variation between them, button bashy gameplay with absolutely no depth. It just feels like a cheap cash-in with no lasting appeal, hoping to make money on the fame of the characters alone. It's definitely worth a few rounds in the arcade, but would never be worth forking out in full for a home release.